A very good afternoon to you all, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Dr. Hayden, Sustainable Transport Strategy Lead from the University of Brookes. So thank you very much for welcoming me as one of the experts, and hopefully I can give you some overview of transport, sustainability and climate here at Oxford Brookes. So I've been asked to talk for around about 5 or 10 minutes, and over the next 5 or 10 minutes, I'll be giving an overview of the different locations in terms of campuses that we have here, and a background in terms of the sustainability work that we're undertaking. We'll be looking at student and staff travel patterns, and most importantly, we'll be looking at some of those future challenges from a transport perspective. Okay, so for those of you who are not familiar, we have 3 campuses here in Oxford. They're shown on the slide. Hopefully you can see in pink. The B is the main campus that many of you, I would expect, would know, which is Hayden campus, and the two to the east, you've got Wheatley in the east, and you've got Harcourt in the west. Approximately between Headington and Wheatley is approximately 5 miles, and between Headington and Harcourt is approximately 7 miles. So just to give you a very quick overview on some of the sustainability work that myself and colleagues are doing here at Oxford Brookes. We're ISO 14001 accredited, and we've been accredited ISO 14001 since 2001. You can find out some further information on any of these links that I've provided on the slides. We have a sustainable design criteria which all of our new builds and developments have to achieve, and that is in addition to the local planning policy. Some of you might be aware we were the first trade university, and we've just recently celebrated 15 years, and we declared a climate emergency at the back end of last year. And of course, we're working with other organisations and businesses to deliver the Zero Partnership, hoping to support that aspiration to deliver net zero by 2040. Okay, one of the projects that's going to help us to deliver that step is the geothermal heat pump. Some of you might be aware of it, might have seen it, might have passed it. So this is just off Gypsy Lane. There's going to be 14 boreholes drilled approximately 250 metres down to the ground, and you can see there the black dots denoting where those boreholes will go. And the next few slides just show a few images of where some of the works are taking place, and the main central strip that you can see on the far image on the right hand side shows the pipe that will lead from the geothermal heat pump into our energy centre. Of course, wherever possible, we have solar panels on the roofs, and a combination of PVs and green roofs and blue roofs, of course, and that will be part of the story going forward as well. So let's have a look now at some of the student and staff travel patterns at the university. So just over the next few slides, I'm just going to show you these are based on data of 2019, so it's post the pandemic, based on staff postcodes. The black sort of stars, if you like, show where all of our staff are coming from, and the green indicates the length of journey to Headington campus. The darker the colours indicate the journey time is longer. So you can see there from the map, and I think the story to pick up here is many of the journeys that our staff are doing and commuting to campus are over 1 hour or so. And I think that's worth noting for the panel and the jury to know that people are not living who are working within Oxford, are not working at the university, and not living within Oxford. Many are taking trips an hour plus to get here. Now, when you take the same data and you sort of think about that and say, well, if that trip was taken by public transport, i.e. the park and ride, in this case, how long would that journey time take? And you can see there that the greener shades of colour on the map there's more of them, indicating that if there was to take the park and ride, journey times for our staff members would increase. And we'll touch on that over the next few slides, and why that's important to bear in mind. Looking at students, and I took this information from a recent travel survey that we did again post-pandemic. We're currently in the process of updating that. We did pause that. We usually do this on an annual basis, but given the pandemic, we paused it. And as I say, we're now redoing it. Unsurprisingly, many of our students take the Brookes bus. And again, that's something that you will be probably familiar with. If not, you've probably already seen today. We don't allow students a car parking permit. Those are in halls of residence. They're not allowed a car parking permit, but we do give them included travel on the Brookes bus. And therefore, it's unsurprising that you're seeing quite a shift there towards bus travel. Given our location, and again, I think this is an important thing, here, as I said, just outside of Haddington, approximately 4 miles outside of city centre from the train station. You see there, many of our students are relying on bus travel or cycling, but not so much the train. And I think that picture might be different, say for other colleagues at other locations that are located near to the train station. So geography is a really important factor when thinking about modes of travel. So just looking at some of the findings and reasons why people are using the car instead of sustainable forms of travel. Unsurprisingly, 32%, vast majority of people, we're talking about the time and the distance and the flexibility. I thought, interestingly, these results, usually you might see weather come up, but weather was not a factor in people's decision making. I thought that was an interesting point to note. But really interesting to also note things around caring responsibilities outside of work commitments, parents and guardians, or somebody who you might have a responsibility to. So it's worth noting that people are driving, they might want to take sustainable forms of travel, but they have commitments outside of work that means that they're unable to do that. So that was really interesting when we asked that question, why are you driving? Barriers for not accessing the sustainable travel, again, thinking about those reliability, the service, and there's nothing worse than having a service says it's going to come and it doesn't turn up, or it's running late on time. Safety and security, I mean, really two big areas there. Recently, having been knocked off my bike, actually, I can definitely say safety and security and segregation of cycle lanes is a must and should be going forward. So when we're thinking now, and I'm going to move over the next few minutes over the post-COVID world, we're doing an awful lot of work to redevelop the campus and to concentrate the campus at Headington Hill, and we will be shortly decanting from Wheatley, for example. And the pictures that you see on the screen are examples of Clive Student Village, and this will increase the student population in this area to around about 2,000. And then the next screen I'm going to show you is the Headington Hill site. So these buildings will see a vast reduction in car parking capacity that we'll have available to our staff primarily. And I say staff because, as I said earlier, we don't allow student car parking permits for those living in halls. And if your main site of study is at Headington, again, we don't allow you to have a permit to park on campus. So some big changes are afoot as a result of these buildings. So things that we're going to have to really have some clarity from the council. The impact of the workplace parking levy. We hear that it could be around about £600 per car parking space, but how's that going to play out? What's that going to mean? What's the administration? As I say, we're aware that blue badges, operational vehicles won't be included, or this is what we're informed of. But what about people who have caring commitments? How will they be affected? Not everybody will fall within the blue badge. We know there's other policies such as zero emission buses and Zebra coming online, and we welcome that. But again, it's understanding what that will mean. And we know the Zebra scheme is the Brookes bus network is part of that. So to understand all of that and to understand different behaviours and travel, as I said earlier, we'll be starting a student and travel survey, and the results are anticipated this summer. And in addition to that, that will inform a new staff and car parking criteria and revision of our terms and conditions, and those will be, we anticipate those to be completed by the beginning of next year. So there's an awful lot of work ahead of us. There's an awful lot of policy change ahead of us, and that's something that, as I say, over the summer, we are aware the council will be taking some further consultation. We look forward to working with the council on that, and we look forward to having input into that consultation. So many thanks for your time this afternoon. If you do have any further questions, my details should be on the screen. Actually, Hayden at brookes.ac.uk, and I'll be very happy to take any questions.